Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry for the delay in posting new videos. My trainer has been busy conducting SAP trainings. And now we are preparing for our upcoming SAP Activate Project Manager training batch. So if you are working in SAP Project Management, PMO, Scrum, or planning to move into an SAP Project Manager role, you can contact us. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp us on 9. We share SAP learning updates, real project scenarios, interview guidance, and upcoming batch information. You can also join our WhatsApp and our WhatsApp SAP community. The community link is available in the description.
So, hi everyone, very good morning and very good evening. First of all, I would like to thank each one of you for joining this SAP Activate Project Management training program. I truly appreciate you taking the time to invest in your learning and career development. I hope this program will help you to understand not only SAP Activate methodology but also how SAP implementation projects are actually executed in the real world. Okay, so welcome to the training, and I'm very excited to have all of you here. Before we start of the course, let me give you a brief about myself, and many of you may already know me, so I don't think so this lengthy discussion is required, and lengthy introduction also. So currently I'm working as a SAP Project Manager and Delivery Lead, you can say, and where I manage end-to-end SAP implementation program depending on the project requirement. So I work closely with the business stakeholder, function consultant, technical team, implementation partner, testing team, and leadership to ensure successful project delivery. So throughout my project management journey, I have had the opportunity to work on a different types of enterprise transformation project. So those experiences have given me practical exposure to managing project governance, stakeholder communication, risk management, testing, cutover planning, hypercare, and overall delivery management. So during this training, I will share not only the SAP Activate methodology, but also whatever we have a practical scenario knowledge, real implementation experience, common project challenge, and lesson learned from the actual SAP project. So in this training, my focus will be different. Okay, so that's why I will explain why each SAP Activate phase exit, what actually happened during each implementation phases, what document are created, what meeting are conducted, and what responsibility an SAP Project Manager has. So what challenge arise during real implementation, how experienced project manager make decision in a complex situation. So rather than simply explaining the methodology, I will help you understand how SAP project operate in a real implementation environment. And who should attend this training? So one of the most common question I received from my colleague and so many friend also, is this course only for SAP Project Manager? So that answer is no. This training has been designed for a professional from different background also who want to understand SAP implementation project. Okay, so like we have technical consultant, functional consultant, as a trainee, whatever that have in background, they can learn here. So I jump in second slide. Let me know if slide is visible.
It's visible, Rajesh. You can go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so here let's quickly go through the course of agenda. So you know what we are going to cover throughout this training program. As you can see, I have divided the entire course into 4 major sections. This structure is designed to take you from the fundamental of SAP Project Management all the way to managing a complete SAP S/4HANA implementation using the SAP Activate methodology. Section 1, you can see SAP Project Management Foundation. In the first section, we will build a strong foundation. We will start by understanding the difference between a non-SAP Project Manager and non-SAP Project Manager, because many professionals think project management is the same everywhere. However, SAP projects are quite different from a traditional IT project. We will also cover SAP project governance, implementation documentation, SAP team, business process, testing data, migration, cutover, hypercare, and the overall responsibility of an SAP project manager. So This section also will help everyone to get onto the same page before we move into the same Activate. Okay, and second section we have SAP Activate Fundamental. Once the foundation is ready, we will move on the SAP Activate methodology. Here we will understand why SAP Activate introduced the SAP Activate framework, fit to standard approach, the three pillars of SAP Activate, SAP Implementation Accelerator, how SAP Activate Simplify, standardized SAP implementation process. So this section is all about understanding the methodology before we start learning the implementation lifecycle. Okay, and third section I will cover SAP best practice, guided configuration, and SAP tools. So in this section we will focus on the tool and accelerator used during SAP implementation. We will learn about SAP best practice, SAP Signavio process navigator, solution builder, implementation assistant, building block builder, configuration, SAP CBC, Cloud ALM, guided configuration. Might be, of course, everyone heard somewhere. Okay, so that things I will cover. And section 4, the real SAP Activate implementation lifecycle. So we will cover the complete SAP Activate implementation lifecycle, and we will go through each phases in detail, like discover, prepare, explore, realize, deploy, run. For every phase we will discuss objective, activity, deliverable, what we have a quality gate, what is the role responsibility, project manager activity, what common challenge, best practice, and most important, real-time implementation scenario. We will also discuss greenfield, brownfield, and hybrid implementation using whatever we have a real life case study and all kind of project in SAP. Okay, so by the end of the training you will have a solid understanding of SAP Activate methodology, and of course whatever we have SAP best practice, guided configuration, all things. So the complete SAP Activate lifecycle from the discover to run, project governance and delivery best practice. So testing, data migration, cut over the hypercare. So the day-to-day responsibility of an SAP Project Manager during an SAP implementation. So before we begin, I would like to mention one important point and encourage everyone to ask question, because this is not an interactive training and not just a presentation. Before we move ahead, I have one small request also for everyone. During today's session, I would like to maintain the flow of the discussion so that we can cover all the planned topic within the scheduled time. And after I complete each section, especially at the end of session, we will have around 1 hour dedicated question answer. So I am sharing the question answer link in the chat. Whenever you have a question, please feel free to post in there. Okay, and the reason is that many of your questions will naturally be answered as we progress through the flow. If we stop after every few minutes, we may lose continuity and miss important concept also. So don't worry, no question will be ignored. We will discuss all your question, and after completing each section, you can also type your question in the chat during the session, and I will address them at the appropriate time. So my commitment here through the training is very simple. I will not just explain the theory from SAP documentation. Instead, I will share real implementation experience scenario, practical scenario, industry's best practice. All the things will cover. So overall, my goal is not only to help you to understand SAP Activate, but to help you to think and perform like a SAP Project Manager in a real implementation project. Okay, so let's begin our journey and explore SAP Activate together. Okay, my next slide is showing SAP Project Manager Management Foundation. Is it visible? Because I'm not able to see in my screen.
Yes.
That means, I have shared my screen, so that's why.
Yeah, yes, you can see.
Okay, perfect. Just give a second. Okay, so here you can see learning objective. Okay, so before we jump into SAP Activate Methodology, I believe it's very important to everyone has a strong understanding of SAP Project Management fundamental. Many people directly start learning SAP Activate, but if your foundation is not strong, and understanding the later phase become much more difficult. So in this section, we will first understand what SAP Project Manager actually does and how this role is different from a traditional IT Project Manager and or non-SAP Project Manager. We will discuss why managing SAP implementation is not just about a tracking timeline and conducting meeting. And SAP Project Manager always need to understand the business implementation methodology, project governance, and how different work streams come together to deliver a successful implementation. So we will spend some time to understand, SAP implementation concept, the core business process, and the major SAP functional area, so everyone has a common understanding before moving forward. So we will also cover some very important implementation activities such as all governance, project documentation, testing, data migration, all those things we will cover. So project manager and if talk about play a major role to a successful go live. So you by end of this session you should have a solid foundation and clear understanding of how SAP implementation projects are managed, and this will of course make it much easier to understand SAP Activate methodology. And the implementation of course life cycle is upcoming section we have. So let's start for next slide. Okay, here. So this slide is showing from non-SAP Project Manager and SAP Project Manager. Everyone are able to see, right? This?
Yes.
Please help me out. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So before we move further, I would like to everyone to imagine a real life scenario. Suppose you have been working as a project manager for the last 10 to 12 years and you have successfully delivered web application, mobile application, ServiceNow implementation, Salesforce project, or any other enterprise IT project. And you are comfortable with the Agile, Scrum, PMP, stakeholder management, busting, resource planning, whatever, RAID log, project governance. But one day in the morning, you receive a call from the organization, okay, that your project head or program lead, they called you and they are telling, hey, congratulations, we are going to start next Monday and you are going to lead this 100 crore SAP S4 HANA implementation project. So my question to all of you, are you really ready if you came from the non-SAP background, non-SAP project manager, traditional? Anyone? Take a moment and think about it. Hello? My voice is audible, hope everyone, right?
Yes, Prayesh.
Yeah. So are you ready to take this opportunity? If anyone is assigning, if you came from the non-SAP background, non-SAP project manager background, and if you're getting a chance to work as a 100 CR SAP S4 HANA implementation project.
Looking at the slide, Brijesh, it says something more is required. As it says, the first bullet point says why traditional project management is not enough. So maybe something more is required in that case.
So no. So what do you think? So are you ready to take this project opportunity?
As a layman, I guess the opportunity would be a good opportunity, maybe something new to be learned and a different experience, but not
Okay.
sure if the previous experience would be sufficient enough to take up this additional opportunity of an SAP project. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, sorry. May I know your good name? Because I'm
Varun.
not Varun. Hey, Varun. So, most experienced project manager immediately, of course, like you can think, okay, so they will tell, yes, of course, because project management is a project management, right? And honestly, I would probably have said the same thing a few a year ago also that I have an experience, like same thing I did. Okay, because we believe that if we know PMP, Agile, Scrum, and risk management, stakeholder management, bursting, all those things, planning, reporting, then SAP projects should also be easy. But here is the reality: SAP S4 HANA implementation is not just another IT project. It is a complete business transformation program. And you are not simply delivering software, you are changing how an entire organization operates. You are dealing with, of course, finance team, you are going to dealing with procurement team, sales team, manufacturing, warehouse, human resource, so many SAP ERP system we have, and you are going to deal. And then after that, if you are planning to implement, so they have a integration, testing, data migration, cutover, number of activity need to be planned. Okay, and suddenly in your first SAP project meeting you will start hearing, and always that means they will ask to schedule fit to standard, SAP Activate, rise safe. These are the things you will heard. Okay, business partner, transport management, so many things. And if someone asks you, hey, what is the status of a rise safe register? So if you are not belonging from a SAP PM, so of course you are not able to tackle this situation and not able to track this rise of register also. Someone asks, has the fit to standard workshop been completed or not? And someone asks, might be, when is cutover rehearsal is planned? So if you never work on a SAP implementation before, you suddenly realize that knowing project management alone is not enough. So the challenge is not your project management skills. The challenge is understanding how SAP implementation project work. And that's exactly why I designed this training program. Okay. So we'll discuss in my next slide, and of course detailed way I will explain. Okay. So here, why this transition is challenging. Okay, so now let's understand why this transition from the traditional project manager to an SAP project manager is challenging. Okay, so if first look at a traditional IT project. Normally the business give you requirement, your business analyst gather those requirement, developer build the application, and the testing team validate, and you deploy it into production. Finally, the support team take over the most traditional project, and you are building something from scratch according to customer requirement. As a project manager, your primary focus, what you have a focus, you have a manage scope, manage timeline, manage budget, managing resource, and whatever you are coordinating to development team, to testing team, and based on the team, you are trying to deliver the application successfully. And this is how most, whatever you can say, e-commerce, web application, ServiceNow, Salesforce, so many projects you are able to manage. But if talk about compare SAP S4 HANA implementation, so here is the objective is completely changed, completely different. Instead of building software from scratch, SAP already provides industry's best experience and standard business process. Okay, so the question is no longer what should we build. Instead of question become how should the business adopt SAP standard process, and that's a completely different mindset. As an SAP project manager, you are not managing only developer, you are managing your entire business transformation. Okay, so now you have to coordinate multiple terms such as finance, procurement, all different team departments, sales, manufacturing, warehouse, HR, security, business team, integration, data migration. These are the team. Every one of these team depends on each other. If one work stream is delayed, it can be impact the entire project timeline. And another major difference here is a cross-functional integration. For example, the sales team create a sales order. The process doesn't stop in a sales it trigger. Okay, so what we have a trigger. So it inventory management might be, production planning might be, procurement might be, finance, billing, accounting. So one business process may involve 5 or 6 SAP model working together. So as an SAP project manager, you need to understand these dependencies, not a technical detail, but from a project delivery perspective, you need to understand this outcome. Okay, and then if talk about here data migration point of view, so unlike traditional IT project where you migrate only user information or application, okay, and data SAP implementation. So here, whenever you involve as a data migration, so of course that customer, vendor, whatever you have a material, open purchase order, open sales order, finance, CL balance, whatever you have a historical transaction data, this migration has to be carefully planned, tested, and whatever you have a multiple times that you need to validate by the business also, take an approval, and then accordingly you can migrate. Understood? Hope everyone are aligned.
Yes, Brijesh.
Yeah. And next here, cutover and migration, cutover and hypercare, cutover planning. Okay. So a traditional deployment may take a few hours, but in SAP, go live is a carefully planned. Depends your business event. So there are hundred of activity that need to be happen in a specific sequence, like data migration, transport movement, business validation, everything that before moving a production, that everything we need to validate, and then after that we need to take a sign off, and everything, all sign off are in place, all document, all compliance document are in place, then we can plan for a go live, because there is the gate wise approval, SG1, SG2, SG3, SG4. These are the gate wise approval in SAP. And after go live, the work doesn't stop. We enter the hypercare phase, where the project team provide intensive support to business users to stabilize the system. Whatever we have a resolve critical issue and ensure a smooth business operation. Okay, so finally, unlike many traditional IT project, SAP implementation usually involve global business stakeholder and multiple implementation partners, along with external vendor. Also, we have system integrator. We have SAP product team also, executing steering committee also. Okay, so as a SAP project manager, spend a significant amount of time coordinating these different stakeholders to keep the project moving. Okay, so a traditional IT project manager focus primarily on delivering an application, and SAP project manager focus transforming an entire business. So that's why SAP project require additional knowledge beyond your project management fundamental. That's why we need to understand SAP Activate and SAP Project Manager, all things. So let me give you the story here. You can see Rahul story. Okay, so just see Rahul, this is a fictional story, so this is, you can assume, so I assume based on my experience, so that's why. So I can assure you that this situation happen also sometimes. Okay, if you came from the different SAP background. Okay, so every SAP implementation project, let's assume we have a project manager, of course, that name Rahul XYZ. Okay, so Rahul has spent more than 12 years managing successful IT projects, and he. Sorry. Hello.
I think somebody was not unmute, Brijesh. So.
Okay, may I continue?
Yeah.
Okay, so suppose Rahul, of course, has spent more than 12 years, okay, and managing successful IT project, and he worked in banking, insurance, mobile application, and digital transformation kind of project, and he is a PMP certified and known Agile, Scrum Manager, stakeholder, everything, okay, and Rahul believe project management is the project management. Whether it's banking, mobile, or SAP, it's all about managing scope, timeline, budget, risk, and resource. So many of us, probably think the same way. Now imagine Rahul join his first. Just give me a second. Okay. So many of you know many of us probably think the same way. Rahul, whenever he joined SAP S4HANA implementation, and first day everything looked normal, okay, and he attended the kickoff meeting, made the client review also, and trying to prepare the project plan also, and he is very confident. But the second day, as a real SAP project begin during your morning meeting. Once a time, your consultant asked when we are going to conducting the fit to standard workshop. Okay, so might be Rahul, if he doesn't know SAP and all process, so of course he will think, he will pause for a moment, okay, and he will think, hey, I didn't work on any fit to standard. Few minutes someone is asked, hey, can you share the RISEF register what we are going to develop, and someone also asks everything, when we are running the SAP readiness check also. Okay, someone asked might be when we have a discovery assessment or gap analysis also. So if doesn't yet understand all SAP implementation, this is the biggest difference and challenge always they will face as a if you doesn't have a SAP project manager background, so you will face this challenge. And the challenge is understanding the SAP implementation life cycle, okay, and SAP terminology. Whenever you understood business process, then definitely you will migrate in a proper way. Understood?
Yeah.
So you can see here the same challenge, like we have identified 3 to 4 challenge. Okay, so first, if talk about challenge 1 and challenge 2, so if we came as a traditional project manager, so IT involvement into an SAP implementation, so many of the experience we have where many project managers initially struggle, and it's not because they are poor project manager, but because the nature of SAP project is completely different. Okay, so if talk about challenge 1, traditional IT project, your primary focus is gather requirement, coordinating with developer, managing timeline, testing, deliver. That's it. But in SAP, that's only one part of the job. SAP project manager, you must understand how the business actually work. If you understand the whole business process, you always you need to understand, should be familiar also end-to-end business process, such as suppose you have a this one, order to cash or procure to pay, or suppose record to report and P2P, hire to retire, everything. So why this important, you need to understand, because in SAP one business process doesn't stop in one model. A single transaction may involve finance, procurement, sales, all model, they are dependent each model. Okay, if the procurement team make one configuration change, it could directly impact finance or inventory also. So as a project manager, need to configure the system yourself, but you must understand the process well, and enough to coordinate team, identify dependency, always check where is the risk, ask the right question. Okay, so this is the this one is the first challenge I discussed. Second challenge, if talk about SAP terminal, that's a very important. Okay, when you join as a SAP implementation, so whenever you are going to ask or speak in the language like software project whatever, see always just few seconds before, few minutes before I discuss RISE and all those things. So business partner, we have a different types of Fury, SAP Activate, SIT, UAT, Hypercare, Cutover, all those things we have. Okay, so initially these terms may sound confusing, but especially if you are coming from the web application or like application development project, so you are always sitting a project status meeting. You cannot respond anything. You cannot convey, hey, what we are doing, where we are, based on the SAP project perspective, because you are not concentrating, you are not aware about the whole process. So we have a three RISE object suppose, and pending if SIT is delayed because data migration is incomplete and cutover planning need to start next week. And if you don't understand these terms, it becomes very difficult to participate in discussion. So always we need to take a decision, communicate efficiently, and we need to connect with all stakeholder, understand the proper process, and then we can move forward. As a SAP Project Manager, I'm talking about. Okay, same we have a this cross-functional team and business focus we have. Okay, so cross-functional team, you need to coordinate. As a traditional project manager, you sometimes you need to coordinate DevOps team, QA team, business analyst, developer. But whenever you work as a SAP project manager, you need to coordinate all module team like security, basis, ABAP developer, integration, data migration, testing, infrastructure, whatever we have a consultant, number of consultants, you need to coordinate and you need to work together. And here as a project manager, your responsibility is not only for a track individual tasks, but also to manage the dependency between these work streams. So for example, if data migration team is delayed, so testing of course gets delayed. If basis team doesn't complete the transport, so function consultant cannot validate. If if integration is not ready, end-to-end, here end-to-end testing also cannot begin. So in SAP, one delay can impact the entire project timeline. So whenever you are trying to manage, so these dependency is one of the biggest responsibility as a SAP project manager. And last one, if talk about business focus and go live, so this is not just about a delivery software, it's about ensuring the business is ready to operate from day one. As we approach go live, the focus completely change. Instead of discussing new feature, we start discussing cutover planning, data migration, transport manager, business validation, everything. So at this stage, every activity is business critical. A small mistake can affect all module will impact, like finance, production, sales, everything will impact, or even stop business operation. So that's why as a SAP project manager, spend a significant amount of time coordinate your business user, your implementation partner, technical team, and leadership to ensure everything is complete in the correct sequence. Okay, so these are the kind of challenge always receive if come from the non-SAP background. So always we receive this type of challenge, and they will face as a SAP project management. Okay, from the traditional to SAP. Okay, so here we can see governance and deliverable playbook. Okay, so governance and deliverables, we have a different types of approach, different document also. Okay, so if we talk about in traditional IT project, you are very familiar with these documents like project backlog, user story, sprint backlog, release note. I'm not saying this thing is not going to work in SAP. Of course, we will work, but here is the I'm talking about as a traditional ITPM. Okay, what they work as a traditional ITPM. Okay, but whenever as a SAP project manager, your deliverable go for beyond normal project management document. For example, of course, that you need to plan for a discovery assessment, fit to standard workshop. You need to prepare the tracker also. Whatever we have a business discussion, you need to capture and take a decision. And whenever you trying to new development receive from the client, so you need to identify and you need to maintain your configuration and RISE register also. And you also ask data migration team and integration activity also, because these are the critical for end-to-end business process. And during testing, you will monitor SIT and UAT defect dashboard also. So here we need to make sure issue always resolve before go live. And not only I'm talking about issue, we need to take off number of sign off, number of approval, and number of compliance approval also. Then if everything are all approval are in place, like and on training also, before moving to production, we need to give a training, what kind of development activity you perform, what type of configuration you did in your SAP. So each and everything, that's please plan to and hand over to the support team, and then plan for go live, and then hypercare activity will start. So this is the high level for governance and delivery, and based on the things you need to provide your all document. You need to prepare all document. As a project manager also, as a consultant, you need to coordinate.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, I think maybe Alok is on someone else, I think. Is unmute. Let me see who.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
please
you can
continue.
go ahead,
Please
Brajesh.
continue. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let me know if all good. May I continue now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So here you can see a skill gap. Okay. So let's talk about skill gap. Okay. So you have a traditional project manager and SAP project manager. So I'm telling, many people think that if they already know the project management, they can immediately manage an SAP implementation project. Okay, they are thinking, but in reality, project management is not only the starting point. If the first layer is your project management foundation, this includes planning, scheduling, risk management, stakeholder management, communication, busting, and project delivery. If you already have an experience as a PM, you already possess these skills. So then your next layer is business process knowledge. That's a very important. Okay, and you need to understand how business operate, how all whenever you receive a requirement in all kind of model SDMM, you need to understand how like SD work, how order to cash work, how record to report work, each and everything that you need to understand the process. And this thing will help you to understand what business is trying to achieve, not just what the technical team is delivering. The first important, you need to work as a consulting mindset if you're working as a SAP project manager. Okay, and the third layer, if talk about SAP domain, so here you will learn SAP model, okay, terminology, system architecture, and how different functional and technical teams work together. After that, whatever we have SAP Activate and SAP methodology, you need to understand the implementation lifecycle, project phase, deliverable, quality gate, and how SAP projects are actually executed from discover through run. And finally, the top layer, we have a governance. This is where you will manage from the beginning to end. That means project tracker, raid log, RISEF data, register, data migration, testing, all those things. So whenever you are building a house, project management is the foundation. But to become a successful SAP project manager, you must build the remaining layer one by one. Okay. So here's the objective, very clear. This training is to help you bridge the skill gap, and I'm very confident by end of this training program, definitely you will receive a very good knowledge. Also, you will understand whole SAP implementation work scenario also. Okay. So here, why SAP Activate bridge the skill gap? Okay, how do we bridge the gap? So of course, the answer is SAP Activate Methodology. SAP Activate provide a structure and proven framework that guided a SAP project manager through the complete SAP implementation lifecycle. Instead of figuring out everything on your own, SAP Activate tells you what need to be done, when it need to be done, and what deliverable are expected at each stage. So that's why I always tell, we have each stage we have a number of deliverables. This is not kind of simple things. You receive a requirement, you start preparing the plan, you start executing, and start deploying. No, this is not thing. We have each phases, we have a number of deliverables, number of milestone, number of things need to be done. So if talk about first is discover, so this is where we understand the customer business, identify business value, define the strategy, and then you can prepare the business case. So how and where you are going to set up the project, establish governance, when you are going to onboard your team based on the requirement, based on the key skills, based on the estimation. Okay, and then you will create the project plan also. And then high level, just I am telling you here. Of course, in the next session I will explain you in detail way. So just high level I am telling you here. So if talk about it, explore phase, so this one of the most important phase. We need to conduct fit to standard workshop, understand the proper business requirement, identify the gap. We need to do the gap analysis assessment also, whether standard SAP can be used and where additional configuration or custom development is required. And after that, here is the realize phase. This is where actually system going to configure, development activity is going to start, integration, testing, data migration activity, all things will perform. And fifth phase here is a deploy, where you are going to focus on cutover planning and production. So whenever you have a cutover planning, production, go live, you are going to take a business validation. So you need to ensure a smooth transition into the production environment. And finally, we have a run. Once the system is live, the project move into hypercare, production support, issue resolution, stabilization proper is completed, then we can plan handover. So if you notice, every phase has clear the objective. You need to define the proper activity, deliverable, and governance checkpoint. That's why here, why SAP Activate help bridge the skill gap, and it provide a proper roadmap that enable project manager, even those coming from the non-SAP background also. Understood?
Yeah, Rajesh, one question.
Yeah, please.
So, do we need to know all the modules
No.
of SAP?
No. May I know what's the name? Good name?
Ranveer.
Hey, Ranveer, no. Is not required to understand, is not required to expertise all model. As a PM, if you are going to work as a SAP PM, before going to take any assignment, you need to understand the proper process. I'm not, that means no one is going to ask, hey Ranveer, this is the requirement you receive and do the configuration. No one going to ask to development any activity. But as the project manager, as a SAP PM, you need to understand the process, and you need to think, you need to work as a consulting mindset. If providing a chance to work with the client, so whenever see, client is a very layman. Client is nothing, he is very layman. If suppose, if of course I will talk about in detail in my next slide, and I will give you the detailed example, so of course you will get a more clarity. So instead of providing the response and your answer, so let's break down here, okay, and we'll discuss in later, and I will explain in detail, but no need to worry. Okay, Ranveer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, your transition start here, okay, and how do we make a transition successfully? So the answer is not by becoming an SAP function consultant. That your question, okay. And many people think that to become a SAP project manager they need to learn configuration. So again, I'm telling you, no need to learn a configuration, no need to write ABAP code, but you need to expert and understand the business process. Okay, so becoming expert every SAP model, that is not true. As a SAP project manager, your responsibility is always completely different. Your role is to understand the business process in detailed way whenever you get a chance to any model implementation, okay, like SD, MM, HR, S4HANA, whatever. Now we have in clean core, we have a SAP RISE bundle also that came in the market. So you need to understand, okay. And whenever you are going to coordinate with the different team, so you take a help with your consultant, technical consultant, you ask in detail. But whenever you are going to ask, you also, if you are not aware of business process, so how you are going to ask with your team, how you are going to ask with your client also. Because always I'm telling you, as a SAP project manager, we need to work as a consulting mindset. That's why we can provide the example, we can ask to client accordingly, we can provide the solution also. Okay, so you need to think where right question you need to ask during workshop or before that. You need to identify the risk, not your team. You need to identify the risk, you need to coordinate with the team, but you need to identify. Ask your business user, ask your consultant, okay, everywhere. You need to very closely work with the team. If you don't know every configuration screen, it's okay, but you need to understand the process proper way, okay. Because what you have a responsibility, that consultant is not going to work your whatever your KRA. Consultant is different KRA, your KRA is different. Your responsibility is to understand what is the business trying to achieve, what teams are involved, what the dependency we have, what the project deliverable we have, whether the project is on track for a go live or not. And that's why we need to learn proper SAP Activate. And if you are learning SAP Activate, so we need to understand each phases. There is a 6 phase and we need to understand proper phases. And second things, we need to understand the business process. I'm not asking again, not configure anything, but at least we need to understand the business. And important part, we need to adapt SAP governance also, because whatever you are going to send a report and deliverable, that's a complete, of course not completely, but yes, completely different from the traditional IT PM to SAP PM. Okay.
So Brijesh, Rajesh here. So you
Yeah,
mean
Rajesh.
we are not using the sprint in SAP projects?
No, I didn't tell. I'm not going to use a SAP.
Just go to the previous slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that. No. Just next.
This is the slide, right? I discussed sprint backlog.
No. Go to the next slide. Okay. Go down.
Where?
Just go down.
Where
you are in the. You are.
Brijesh, you were asking just one slide before the last slide.
Here.
You came to the beginning.
Go ahead.
Here.
After the sprint backlog, next to this, after this.
Here.
Yeah.
No. Just go down.
Next. Here.
Continue. Go down.
Here.
Yes. So you mentioned that adopt SAP governance, right? Replace sprint tools with SAP tracker, red logs, Agile cutover plans. What does it mean? So replace sprint tools. Does it mean that we are not using that Scrum here? Sorry, it might be a basic question. I'm not from the SAP background, so that's the reason I'm asking.
No. Of course. That adopt SAP governance means you need to learn the project document. Of course, read log. Okay, we like you did a sprint tracker, right? Project backlog you are managing, of course.
Correct.
So here we have also that we need to RISEF register. Okay, data migration tracker, okay, testing dashboard, everything, cutover plan we have, but sprint also we have. I'm not going to replace sprint here, but we have a phase, because as a traditional PM, if you are coming, suppose just I'm giving you example. You receive a web e-commerce project, okay, and you receive a requirement. All e-commerce project, you start activity, business analyst, they draft the requirement, and technical specification document also draft. Now finally development team is onboarded and they starting the requirement, right? So as a PM, you think, hey, this is the waterfall or agile Scrum practice. So accordingly you think, okay, of course, that why, so best you need to decide as a project manager when agile is required, when Scrum practice is required, when waterfall is required. Okay, so if you are thinking, hey, this is the phase you are trying to use agile, so you need to break down your story, epic, and all those things. Accordingly, you need to assign your team, right? But here is the different process from the SAP Activate, like discovery, prepare, explore, and during realize phase, we will start the SAP Activate with Agile also. Okay, whenever we receive a configuration and all those things, so we have a team, and then during development, RISEF register, we will track and we will assign to the team, and team will deliver. Understood?
Yes.
I didn't tell anything to replace the sprint tool. Here, replace the sprint tool is a different concept actually. Okay, tools, that means you are not going to use, proper, from the day one SAP governance. You need to adopt SAP governance in a proper way from discover to run phase actually. But as a traditional ITPM, that is a different concept. Understood?
Yeah.
Let me know if you have any doubt. Okay. Understood, Rajesh?
Yeah, Bridges.
Okay. So yeah. So here, project management get you in SAP knowledge make successful. Okay. So project, if you are already a project manager, Scrum Master, PMO, or delivery lead or program manager, you already have the core project management skills. if you're working, right? And you know how to manage a schedule, risk, budget, stakeholder, and team. Okay, so those skills no need to change here. Again, I'm telling you here, whatever you have as skills, I'm not asking to change. Okay, what change here? So when you join in SAP implementation, again, I'm not expecting you to become a SAP functional consultant, or your role is not going to configure here SAP or write a function specification. Your responsibility is to understand business process, what each functional team is delivering. Okay, what we have a dependency, what we have a blocker, so we need to remove. Okay, and ensure always project is delivered successfully. For example, when you have a, suppose you are the working, your consultant, when we have a consultant, okay, and they are saying we have a P2P configuration, okay, is completed, and you don't need to know every configuration steps. Okay, they are telling, okay, P2P configuration is complete, but you should understand what P2P is, okay, and which business team are involved, what are the dependency, what are the milestone they are going to complete, how is going to impact during testing go live. The same apply whenever you have a different model like SD, order to cash, whatever. Okay, so you need to understand the process, what they are going to deliver, and what they are going to implement. Okay, so that's why we need to follow proper SAP Activate, and when you follow proper SAP Activate, you will always understand during each phases. Okay, during SIT, UAT, everything. So I will explain in my upcoming session. Okay, we will explain proper scenario and proper case study, how works from the beginning one to how sales order, how sales team they convert a lead and all those things. I will explain in my this section 4 actually. So right now this is the fundamental foundation, so that's why I'm explaining. Hope everyone is aligned, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So because Rajesh, you are working as a project manager, but someone also joined as a training consultant. Okay, so they should also aware what project management activity in future, if they are planning to become a part of the project managers, of course they should be know. Okay, so that's why I have designed this training program. Okay, and one is very important, project manager is not a postman. Okay, that's a very important. So I always give to every project manager, please don't work or become a postman in your organization. Many project managers think their job is simply to receive an email from the client, forward it to the team, and wait for a response and send back to the client. This is not a project management. If that's all you are doing, the client cannot automate the process. They don't need a project manager, just forwarding email and all those things. A project manager is expected to lead the project, not just coordinate communication. So your responsibility is to understand issue, analyze impact, identify the right stakeholder, and drive discussion forward a decision. Take a decision. And for example, if the business say we have a critical issue before go live, don't simply forward the email to your SAP consultant and wait. Instead, ask what is the business impact, which module is affected, is this blocking, testing, or go live, what are the available options, who on the resolution, by when we can resolve it. Then bring the right people together and remove the blocker. Track the action and provide the customer with a clear status with your recovery plan also. That is the difference between coordinator and a leader. So in SAP S4HANA implementation, client expected you to deliver business value. Okay, whatever you have, manager is, whatever you take a decision, try to escalate the issue at the right time. No need to wait something. Okay, it always ensure the successful delivery. Okay, so don't be an email forwarding machine. Be a decision maker or a facilitator. Okay, so leader who drive the SAP project forward. Okay, so leadership mindset is what separate, as an average project manager is an excellent SAP project manager. They are expecting. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Here. So of course, if working as a postman PM versus SAP project manager, so you can see here, I call a postman. A project manager, a problem comes from the client, they simply forward the email to the team, and of course they are going to update, waiting for an update, and they will schedule another meeting and finally escalate the issue. So they are only acting the communication channel. But SAP project manager, if you are working, when an issue comes in the first question, so of course you have a question in your mind: what is the business impact? You will ask. Okay, so here is the, that is the leadership. And whenever you work as a postman PM, manage communication, so SAP project manager, they have an outcome. As you grow in your SAP career, don't focus your forwarding email, focus only solving business problem, making decisions and leading your team towards successful project delivery. That's a mindset expecting by the client. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this SAP scenario, month end closing delay. Hope we have a time, right? Sachin and all, we can continue.
This is the last slide for this chapter, right?
No, no, no. We have a number of slides.
Okay, I thought this is the first section which you completed.
No, no, no. First section we have approx. I gone through in detail. Next we have this leadership behavior, client expectation. Okay, and then here, so many things we have to discuss. So can we complete?
I think let's reach a logical point. Two more slides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's understand this with a real project scenario. Okay, that happen in almost every SAP implementation. If you are a SAP project manager, and finance team, if they are telling you, our end of month is closing, okay, and should finish in a 5 day, but it's taking a 10 days. So this is not just an IT issue anymore. It is affecting financial reporting. Okay, you need to take a call with management, ask for a decision, and of course we have a business operation also. Okay, so if we are comparing, let's compare to two different approaches. So of course you can see whatever I told for postman PM response and SAP project manager response. So a real SAP project manager thinks differently. What is the month end of closing taking? Okay, in 10 days. It is a configuration issue. It is a custom development. Is there a bad job running too long, or is the data migration incomplete, or is an interface failing? So, or is there a business process bottleneck? Okay, so the project manager immediately bring that together, FICO consultant, business team, and business user also, or any other relevant team if required. So they identify root cause, define a mitigation plan, assign clear honor, and of course they will track the daily progress. So of course we need to ensure the issue, all issues should be resolved. Okay, so the customer is not paying us to forward email. They are paying us to understand the business impact. So we need to coordinate the right people, right time. We need to remove the blocker and deliver the proper result. So this is the things we have. Okay, so here leadership behavior, get a great SAP PM thing. So okay, so here you can see mindset as a SAP Project Manager. So if a successful project manager, SAP Project Manager, is not remember because they conducted more meeting or sent more email. They always remember because they deliver successful business outcome. So if talk about quality that separate a good SAP PM from a great SAP PM. So first they mastery in the business process. Okay, they don't need to become a functional consultant. You should understand how the business works, whether it's finance, procurement, all manufacturing or all processes working. SAP Activate expertise. We need to risk identification also, stakeholder influence also, and outcome over activity we have. Okay, and ownership and accountability. So great project manager don't blame a consultant, a vendor, or business user. Take ownership, drive discussion, and always remove blocker and ensure the project move forward. So this is the leadership behavior. Oh. So that's why here if why client expectation are why they are hiring you. Okay, so if the client perspective, whenever a client hire as SAP project manager, so they are not paying for someone to conduct a meeting or send a status report. They are hire you because they expect you to deliver business transformation. And you if you're not deliver business value, so of course every activity in the project should contribute. So that should be a business outcome. And see, whenever you have a solve problem, whenever you have a manage a risk, whenever you lead the team, whenever you enable go live, so these are the things expectation. And also you need to build a confidence, you need to build a trust with your client. Okay, so this is the client expectation we have because they are expecting a result. Okay, so I think I have already covered this SAP Project Manager. Okay, and same kind of things. This is the foundation I have already covered. If required, I can explain again. Anyone? Hello?
Go to the next slide. This is clear.
We
Go to the next slide.
are good here, Brijesh.
Yeah, what is the non-SAP Project Manager? I have already covered here.
This is good enough. Yeah.
Okay, what is the SAP Project Manager? Do we need to explain here?
No, I think I joined late, Brijesh, but couple of points from my side. So it's not a monster which we are looking at the SAP system as such. So don't be bogged down by that. The only thing is that SAP is complex, no doubt about it, because the system itself is built in such a way that it can cater to each and every business, no matter which domain it is. So for airline industry, for pharma industry, for manufacturing industry, this same SAP system can be used. But how to put it to use, that is what is called as configuration. So when we configure the system for our own use, that is when the functional consultant comes into picture, because he understands the business process. So when you say fit to gap analysis, it's for fit to standard. So something is already there in the SAP system. So if you want to configure an end-to-end flow, which basic trainees do during the training purpose, you can always set up a process. For example, to procure 5, let's say if you want to make a small tricycle, then you can set up purchase from one single vendor. I'm keeping it very simple. So you buy the spare parts, then you put a production assembly where you see the inventory. Once this is completed, somebody marks it as complete. So one cycle is produced, you can see, okay, I have one cycle in inventory. As soon as the third cycle is produced or third vehicle is produced, again the order has to be placed because your inventory is consumed. Then the salesperson sees that three cycles already ready. I can send it to the supplier, or I can send it to a dealer. Then the dealer can sell it to the customer. Then the customer has to pay money. So that comes in the finance track. So all this business process is can be configured in this SAP system, and that is why it is so complex that every business process across the domains can be configured. And something which is not possible, for that we can use ABAP coding and do the coding at a very high level. That's the overview.
Yeah,
But the main thing is that anything which stops over here is directly impacting the business. So when, for example, if you are not able to create invoices or if you're not able to create goods receipt, then the truck, if it is actually standing at the gate with material loaded inside it, because the system is not able to process that transaction, the truck cannot come inside the production company, and the production line stops till the point the document is created. Now you will say, why should that happen? Because my material is already here. I have the manpower to create or produce whatever is required. But that's not the case. That it has to flow through a system. That is why this is so important that we understand which module is impacted because of the issue. So when Brijesh is highlighting that you should understand SAP, you should understand SAP not from the configuration point of view.
Yeah.
But if the error is coming, then looking at the error, you should understand, okay, this is a finance error, and you need to go to the finance consultant and get him into the call or whatever you are having. No?
Yes, correct. So wherever, if any, see, SAP Activate is the methodology. This is the process. This is the, concept, how you are going to implement and what kind of process you are going to implement based on the project and whatever we have a model. Okay. So no one is going to ask anything need to be configured from the sales team, from the SD, MM, whatever we have a model. No one is going to ask. But you, as a SAP Project Manager, we need to follow the proper approach, proper practice and proper documentation. As a SAP Project Management activity deliverable, we have a document. Okay, so in my I'm just ignoring this Sachin, this section, because in a detailed way I was trying to explain here. Hope my screen is visible. Okay, SAP Project Manager responsibility and all those things I have already covered high level. Scope little bit I was thinking to explain. Okay, what kind of a scope is coming, non-SAP project and SAP project. Okay, so if you allow, I can explain, otherwise I will ignore. So here wait, documentation. Yeah, documentation. What type of documentation we have in non-SAP perspective, and what kind of documentation we have SAP PM and SAP Activate. So this is the document we have. Okay, list of document. Of course, number of document high level just I'm mentioning here, and what tools of course you are going to use. So here integration, development, data migration, of course in a SAP. So as a SAP, as a project management, we need to use this tool, ServiceNow, Confluence, number of tool. Okay, and ALM tool, HPLM, solution manager, ALM tool, if you receive an access in the organization, because number of time is not required, but yeah, some of course number of ALM tools, if release management team and some PMO team, they are giving the access, so you can use also. Okay, that means ALM tool, why we are going to use, because we need to store, we can see the all kind of template. If we are looking some kind of template, so we can ask to the who is the solution manager. So accordingly we can ask to the solution manager, they can provide the template for SAP point of view, whatever we have a document. Okay, like FSD, if someone is preparing the FSD, so of course based on the FSD we need to prepare the proper format, prepare the proper template, so we can use accordingly. Okay, so this is the things I was supposed to discuss. Here SAP Project Management difference I was thinking. Okay, and here we will discuss that means I was thinking to how leave management portal is come and how SAP Project Management implementation is coming. Okay, and what challenge we receive. Okay, and here what challenge receive in SAP project, and what expectation non-SAP PM and what expectation SAP PM. And this is the last thing, can a non-SAP PM become SAP? Of course we can. Okay, and this is the question answer. That's it. So here section 2 will start SAP Activate. So suggest me if required to
Brijesh, just
yeah.
a quick question, right? Here, like we have scheduled, I think, 2 weeks of trainings, right? So, do we have a day-wise agenda for each day, like what we are going to cover, or is it like as we go on and then we will be continuing whatever finishes within the first day, then you will continue the flow?
See, in 2 week depends on you guys. If you're asking to cover within a 4 hour, I can cover. If you're asking to cover in detailed discussion, 20 hour and all those things, so I can explain in detail. So depends on your expectation.
No, I am expecting that these are already scheduled for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you can go in details, that would be useful for everyone. I don't know everyone is SAP or not,
Yeah. So that's
but
that's
that's why I think you are going good initially, but at the end you are like trying to just complete that. Again, my question would be: is it like planned for today? You have to complete these many slides and
no
then
no
go
no
to the
no
next
no
two?
no 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 no.
Okay, okay.
I was planning to complete at least 2-3 days. Okay, for this till section 2. Just I am highlighting. Okay, if required, because you are the SAP Project Manager, right? But few member is not came from the SAP Project Manager, right? Or few member here is joined as a trainee consultant, right? So might be they are not aware about the proper process. And as per my understanding, whole implementation team, we don't bother where you came from, as a consultant or a trainee or functional consultant, architect, security team, where you came from. But you as a part of the SAP, everyone should be aware proper SAP Activate approach and process. Why is required from SAP SAP and why is required SAP Activate? And if this is the foundation, these are the slide is the foundation. If required, of course I can. Okay, so that's why I was checking with you all. Okay.
No,
So
I would prefer to go in detail rather than rushing through the slides.
yeah,
Because
perfect.
everyone will be, let's say, if they get a SAP Activate methodology they have to use in their project, and they should be knowing what each term means or how they are going to utilize it, right? Because each and everything I can easily see how much depth is there in each every section you're taking through.
Yes. So that's why I took in very detail. Okay. So of course it will help to all, non-SAP guy and trainee also who is right here. Okay. So if we have a time, I can explain. Otherwise, we can take a call tomorrow also. We, of course, earlier we schedule on the, daily 2 hour, but based on Alok request, I think a few project manager was busy in, RFP and some priorities work. So that's why we keep 1 hour on a daily session. So instead of 2 days, might be if required to extend, we will extend this number of week also. But definitely I will explain in a detailed way. Don't worry.
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you.
Okay. So for a day, is it good? If required to continue, I can continue. If no one busy to another thing, help me out. Sachin, can we go?
I think for the first day, it's a good introduction, and as Sudarshan rightly said, maybe you can divide this into slides logically. So then, it is easy for people to absorb as well. But any questions from anybody? I think let's even if it is basic, I think let's ask questions.
Yeah, if anyone have a question, please put your question on your team chat. Okay, let me share this link. Silpa, is it possible to share the link? I think I have shared with you, if you don't mind. Otherwise, let me check this link.
Just I have one basic question.
Yeah, please.
Can you go to the beginning of the slide?
Yeah.
Beginning of the deck. I mean, starting. Okay. So in one of the slide, I think second or third, go down.
This one?
No, go down.
This one?
No.
This one?
No. Second. I will tell you.
This.
Oh no.
This.
In what? Otherwise, you can just let me know that in one of the slide you mentioned that for when we are comparing with traditional PM Agile, the SAP PM, you mentioned that in traditional we are just connecting with we are just collecting the requirement and then implementing in the sprint and deployment, something like that, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
So
but
different.
here, yes.
Yeah.
So here in SAP, let's think that you are working on the one of the module. Let's think that MM, right? So you mentioned that in that case we need to integrate with the different team. Why? Because this you are working for a specific module, right? MM, like for example, right? So in that case, do I need to connect with that SD team? Because you mentioned that integration is also required and connect with the multiple teams is required before planning for the go live, and if anyone is getting a delay, then it will be completely impact or deliverables part, something like that you mentioned in one of the slide.
Okay, first may I know what is the role currently? Are you working as a project manager?
Rajesh here.
Rajesh Das. Okay, Rajesh, sorry. Okay, so Rajesh, whenever MM consultant, okay, if your question, let me repeat your question first, okay. If you're as a MM consultant, if you are working and if you're stuck somewhere in a MM configuration, okay, so as a PM, first we need to ask where we have an issue, what is the issue based on the scope, okay. If there is an integration or some challenges or some dependency from the cross team, so definitely we need to coordinate.
Yeah, that is fine. So my question that even though there is no dependencies there, for example, you are working in that MM, so in that case also, do I need to connect with that SD team? Not required, right? Unless until there is no dependencies there.
How you will identify there is no dependency on SD team?
No, that we need to be clarified from the day one itself, right? When we get that understand the requirement or what's up.
Yes. So here, of course, if we understood the proper scope from the day one, okay, and during MM, suppose we receive a requirement only MM, there is no integration with SD or any other model. So definitely we don't have an issue, of course.
Yes. Okay.
But in a configuration perspective, in a detail, if someone have a MM and it might be can impact in a different model.
Correct.
Because all model are integrated in the SAP. Right, so always you need to ensure you need to do your PIRA assessment. You know PIRA assessment, Project Impact Risk Assessment. Okay. So just again I am telling you, so before suppose okay, let me give you example. Suppose you receive a project from the program head, okay, like Sachin, Alok, Deepak, whatever, okay. You receive a project and you receive a requirement from the process integration owner. There is a role, actually every organization have a different role. So process integration owner or subject matter expert or solution architect also, okay, someone you receive, a high level scope you receive, right? And there is a objective was only MM implementation, okay, or OTC implementation, any model, LSC, any kind of model you can choose, okay. But before going to start or create a FSD, okay, ask before onboarding your team and all those things, you need to do proper 3 steps. You need to follow in the proper 2 and 3 steps first you need to prepare the project charter, okay. Before preparing the project charter, you need to set up a kickoff call, take an approval, ask in a detailed way, prepare the project charter. Then you need to do in parallel project impact risk assessment, okay. Once you do what we will do the project impact risk assessment. So whenever you are doing the project risk assessment, you need to involve your architect, segment architect, solution architect, here from the support team you need to involve, from the compliance team also you need to involve, from the IRM team you need to involve. And in the PIRA process project impact risk assessment, we have a checklist, Okay, and there is a checklist. Based on the each checklist, these people, these are the stakeholder. I'm talking about these architect and what is the name, support team and IRM compliance team. They are going to ask a number of questions, okay, based on the checklist, and then you can based on the answer whatever you are going to provide, you can take you can involve a business user also, because you are, of course, overall you are taking going to implement. You can call business PM, because some question if you are not able to respond, definitely business PM they can respond. Okay, so you can involve on that call, and once you create impact risk assessment you done, then automatically you will get a notification during assessment. This project is impact is high, critical, or risk, or low, what kind of project. Now whenever you onboard your this resource, functional consultant or number of technical consultants, whenever they are going to draft the requirement, then accordingly you can check with these function consultants. Suppose consultant, so you can check, hey, this is the PIRA assessment I did, and these are the activity I perform, and here we receive a few risks in it is impacting some different model also, so you can check with them. And then again, before wherever he functional consultant, they are drafting the FSD, they can tell you, okay, hey, yes, you are correct, this is the few things is impacting on a different model also. So this is way to you identify your threat risk. This is the initial phase I am talking about.
Okay, sure.
Understood?
Yeah.
Hope I am clarifying the proper way.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Your voice is not audible.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you. And one minor comment from my side, that can you please put the page slide number any in the at the footer of the particular slide, like 1 2 3 4, so that it will be easy to go to that whenever someone has some kind of queries. You can go to that particular slide instead of going one by one.
I will.
Yeah,
Any other question? Any other question you have? Any other team member?
Brijesh, can you just share the deck in the group?
No, right now I cannot share the deck. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, this is the confidential. Any other question? Team member, as a trainee, Naveen, Sumit.
Yeah, but Brijesh, I have one question. Are you going to explain the complete business process in the upcoming sessions?
Business process means what?
As in, because I'm from non-SAP background, so I have no clue what all these documents you are referring in SAP, like RISF, and the processes you're talking about, P2C, O2C.
Yes.
I have no clue anything about this.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not going to explain whole model business process, okay, whatever, because in SAP, SAP is not only one model, we have a proper ERP system, okay. So I'm not going to explain whole business model, but whatever as the SAP Project Manager require, and what kind of deliverable document is required, what kind of process from beginning to end, I will explain in detail way. Don't worry. And in my last section, I will also give you the assignment. I will help to explain with case study from beginning how project is receiving, how manufacturing company or any other plant, they are approaching to sales guy, how what kind of communication, what business objective, each and everything I will explain in my last session. So no need to worry, everything I will explain.
But if I need to understand the project completely, I should have understanding of the basic process also. If I don't have an idea about that, how this methodology which you're gonna cover in the upcoming session will help me 100%.
Okay, so just let me give you one high level. Suppose I'm giving you the assignment in a SD. Okay, not SD. SD is a huge thing. OTC. Okay, I'm just giving you assignment, and there is the enhancement for it. I'm not talking about the whole implementation enhancement process. Okay, enhancement. There is a few enhancement that few things need to be configured. Okay, so what you will do first? Are you going to learn OTC model? Are you going to become OTC consultant?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, so if you receive any assignment in any module as a SAP Project Manager, first you need to understand the SAP approach, SAP implementation approach. Okay, and whenever you receive a requirement in any kind of model, OTC, LSD, distribution, number of model, because SD is a huge, under the SD we have a number of separate module also. Okay, so you, whenever you receive a requirement, project requirement document or a scope document, based on the scope document, just Google it, understand the process. Okay, what is the, because see, if you are receiving any kind of assignment, you need to do your homework, because whenever your client is asking, hey, this is the requirement I have given, if you are not able to clarify, if you are not going to explain in front of the client, so definitely client will escalate on the same. So first,
Yeah, that's what my point is. If some requirement comes up and I do not have any background how this particular thing works as its standard business process, then how will I ask for questions, right? Relevant questions.
So that's why now every module I'm telling you, at least theoretical, at least business process, at least landscape process, you need to understand.
So you're saying that I need to have, like, it's must that I should understand the business process first.
Yes,
the complete
only business process.
ERP
Business
system.
process is not a. I'm telling you, you no need to do the configuration.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the configuration. I'm talking about only the functional part.
Yeah, business process is small things. You need to understand the proper process.
You guys are stretching too much for everything. Business process is one thing and the project management is another thing.
Yeah.
And we are getting confused in these two terms. And Rajesh, you use so many times the word business process and that project management. That's why the people who are coming from non-SAP not coming from the SAP background, they're getting confused.
Okay.
Rajesh, I think we should take a break.
Yeah.
We are going in circles. And
okay, yeah. So, Jasit, I will explain it slowly. So, no need to worry. Okay.
Yeah, you guys take this offline.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Jasit, I will explain after this.
Sure,
call.
sure. No
you
problem.
can ping me. I will give you the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. If anyone have a question, we can ask. Otherwise, for a day, we can close the call. We'll connect tomorrow. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Bye.